Do you feel it like something is shifting? It's not clear, not loud, but it makes your mind drift somewhere through strange dreams, through moments when you feel distant from everything around you. Maybe it's a sense of emptiness, a pause, or a silence that lingers from someone you once thought would always be there. If you're a Gemini, and you're hearing this right now, then it's not a coincidence. August doesn't begin with action, but with a quiet reminder: listen within, because you're standing in front of a door. A new chapter is about to open, but only for those who are awake enough to feel it. You might think everything is on hold, but in truth, the universe is holding you back, so you don't miss what matters most. A meeting, a message, an unexpected turning point. You're not being left behind. You're being prepared. If those words make your heart quietly tremble, leave a message for the universe in the comments. I am ready to hear the sacred. And if you saw yourself in every line of this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and make yourself a cup of your favorite tea or coffee, because today's story is just for you. Part 1. The unusual stillness. The universe is holding you back. There are silences that aren't soothing. Not because you crave noise, but because this silence feels strange. It makes Gemini's heart uneasy, as if something is about to happen, but it hasn't yet taken a clear shape for you to name it. Everything around you seems to be moving very slowly, or worse, standing still. Every conversation feels thinner than usual. Every plan you had seems to be delayed by some invisible hand. You begin to wonder, why am I no longer excited about what I once looked forward to? Why does it feel like everyone is moving forward while I'm stuck in place? If you're feeling this, Gemini, don't think you're being left behind. On the contrary, you're being held back by the universe, intentionally and sacredly. This August, you're entering a very special quiet space, a space where your soul is being asked to pause, not as punishment, not as a test, but to offer you a rare opportunity, the chance to take a step back and truly listen to yourself. From an astrological perspective, this isn't just a personal feeling. It's a unique configuration involving the Sun, Mercury, your ruling planet, and Saturn, forming a tense triangle. Simply put, the universe is building a gentle wall, not to stop you, but to make you sit down, reflect, understand, and reevaluate the direction of your path. Maybe you once believed wholeheartedly in the road you chose. Maybe you placed too much hope in someone, a project, or a decision. But the universe doesn't operate on expectations. It operates on alignment with the soul. And if you feel like you're being held back, it's not a meaningless delay. It's a form of protection that you may not yet understand. You're not stuck. You're in between two levels of transformation. One chapter hasn't fully closed. Another hasn't yet opened. That's why this silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a quiet signal from the deepest layers of your being. Gemini, it's time to look back. Maybe you feel unmotivated. Maybe you no longer feel drawn to what once set your soul on fire. Maybe you feel like a kite with no wind, like a butterfly caught in a cocoon. But dear Gemini, remember, before rebirth, there is always a phase that feels like falling apart. A pause where the old system is dismantled. A stillness where new light finds its way in. And maybe this is a moment where you don't have to do anything. Just be. Stay still. Don't resist. Don't rush. Because in this very silence, you'll hear the truest voice within yourself. The one that's long been covered up by the noise of the world, of expectations, of all the things you thought you had to be. This is the phase where the universe is resetting your frequency. And just like when a computer is being upgraded, all external operations must pause. The more you resist, the more tangled it gets. The more you rush, the more lost you become. But if you choose to sit with it, something magical happens. Answers begin to arrive, not from anyone else, but from the wiser, deeper version of yourself. Gemini, this stillness is not failure. It's the threshold between who you were and who you're becoming. And if you find your heart quietly asking a question no one seems to answer, if your gaze feels lost in an unnamed space, then gently ask yourself, could this be the universe protecting me in a way my mind can't yet understand? Let that question walk beside you in the coming days. And if you can, make yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, sit by the window, and allow yourself to drift with this journey. Because in the next chapter, the first light of transformation will begin to rise. If you're still reading this far, maybe the universe truly is whispering to you, Gemini. Leave a comment. I'm being held back so I can grow greater, so that both you and the universe know you're ready now. Part 2. Invisible messages. Gemini's intuition is ascending. There are moments when you can't name what you're feeling. You're not sad, but you're not happy either. You're not missing anyone in particular. Yet your heart suddenly tightens in the middle of the night. You're not thinking about the past. Yet something keeps pulling you back to things you thought you'd already forgotten. Gemini, if you're going through those still and silent moments, then maybe it's not a coincidence at all. Lately, have you been seeing repeated numbers? 11, 11, 22, 22, 3, 33. They're not just times, they are signs, as if the universe is whispering in your ear. Listen closely. Something very important is trying to speak to you. Or have you had strange dreams? The kind of dreams that leave you with a lingering feeling when you wake, as if you've just touched a different layer of consciousness, where someone, once deeply familiar, is calling you back. It's no accident that you're feeling all of this in August, because Neptune is activating your 12th house, the house of invisible connections, of the subconscious, of the soul. When this energy touches Gemini, a sign already spiritually perceptive, the awakening happens naturally. You begin to hear more from within. Intuitions, connections that cannot be explained by logic, begin to flood in. Maybe you no longer talk to that person. Maybe it's been a long time you've tried to forget, tried to move on, tried to frame it as a closed chapter. But if your heart still aches when an old song plays by chance, or if you sometimes feel like someone is thinking of me, then Gemini, the universe is sending a message. And you are the only one who can decode it. Is there someone you still haven't fully let go of, even though the two of you have gone separate ways? Is there a relationship, a memory, or a glance still lingering somewhere in your subconscious? You're not crazy. You're reconnecting. Quietly. And very truly. Don't try to explain it with logic. Don't ask why that person still shows up in your dreams. Don't blame yourself for still not being over it. Because maybe this is no longer just an emotional issue. It's a layer of soul lesson. Still unfinished. The universe isn't keeping you from forgetting because you're weak. It's because something still needs to be spoken. A lesson needs to be completed. Or a message needs to be heard in full. Maybe you need to forgive, not the other person, but yourself. Maybe you need to understand that person came into your life not to stay, but to awaken you. And now, as your intuition grows sharper, as all the signals start gathering, it is time for you to face it. Not to cling, but to release it in the right way. This August is a journey for Gemini to revisit what remains unfinished. Not from the emotional layer of the past, but from the soul's mature perspective. You look back, not to hold on, but to understand, to draw out the lesson, to return freedom, to yourself and to others. Not every connection needs to be held onto, but every connection that was once deep leaves a mark, and some souls still follow each other, not because of lingering love, but because something was never said aloud. Gemini, don't rush to dismiss what you're feeling. If a song keeps looping in your head, listen to it. If a name keeps appearing even when you don't want it to, write it down. If a dream keeps recurring, record it. That is how your intuition is speaking. Those are the invisible messages from the universe, sent through you. And who knows, when you allow yourself to truly listen, you might realize something very big. You're no longer the same person. You no longer hurt the way you once did. You've changed. You're growing. And this lesson isn't here to wound you. It's here to give you a new level of freedom. If you've read this far, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I am ready to listen to my soul. Because sometimes, just daring to listen means you've already walked half the journey. Part 3. The Dual Doorway. Choosing your soul's true direction. There are times in life when we're not standing at a crossroads, but before a dual doorway. Each one leads to a completely different reality. Every step is a rebirth. And this August, Gemini is standing at that very place. A fated intersection between the familiar and the unknown, between what once brought you comfort and a soul calling you've never dared to touch. Can you feel it? Something is returning. Maybe it's a dream you once set aside, a plan that was planted but never bloomed, a relationship that seemed to fade, but lately has started appearing again in your dreams, in the quiet moments as you gaze absent-mindedly out the window. When Mercury, your ruling planet, begins forming a trine with Jupiter on the 20th of August, the flow of intellect and vision expands like a vast, limitless field. But what's different this time isn't just the activation of your mind. It's that your heart is speaking, whispering. Is the path you're on truly yours? Maybe you once chose a job because it was stable, stayed in a relationship because it felt safe, prioritized logic because risk scared you. But now, logic seems silent. It no longer leads. Because Gemini is stepping into a liminal zone, a place where only the heart can guide. You feel split. One part of you wants to keep going, to honor all that you've built. But another part is stirring deeply. You're beginning to long for a life that feels more true, not to please others, but to be honest with yourself. You're tired of playing the role of the good one, if it means losing touch with who you are. And the universe sees that. That's why it's brought you to this threshold. Not to confuse you, but to help you choose again, with more maturity, with more self-knowing, and with deeper clarity of who you are. The bigger question now is no longer, which should I choose? But rather, who am I? And am I living in alignment with my soul? If you feel like you're repeating a familiar loop, going to work, eating, socializing, smiling, but inside feeling empty, this is your wake-up call. Because if you don't truly choose again, you might continue living a seemingly fine life, but one that never quite feels right. Jupiter is now acting as a spiritual mentor. It's not pushing you to act immediately, but it will stir deep questions within you. It opens the door for you to see farther, deeper, to touch choices you once rejected, simply because you weren't ready. Dear Gemini, don't fear not having all the answers. The magic is this. When you choose what's true for your soul, everything else will begin to align. New opportunities will arise. The right people will appear. Things that once seemed random will become signs from the universe guiding your steps. Maybe you'll have to let go of a relationship, or pause a project that no longer excites you, or simply take a break, just to hear your inner voice more clearly. Whatever it is, it's part of remapping your soul's blueprint, a map that only you can read. And if today you feel uncertain, don't see it as failure. See it as a sacred invitation to pause, reflect, and choose again. No one can decide for you, but you absolutely have the right to choose a life that makes you feel awake and fully alive every single day. If you're still wavering between two paths, leave a comment. I choose what's true for my soul, so the universe can witness your commitment. And if you can, brew yourself a warm cup of tea, then sit down. Because the real journey begins the moment you listen to yourself. Part 4. The Keyholder. A relationship chosen by the universe. Some people come into our lives not with noise, not with grand gestures, not demanding anything, but with just one look, one word, or simply their presence at the right time. They touch a part of us so deep, a part we ourselves had forgotten. Gemini, you are now in a phase where the relationships around you are no longer just friends or acquaintances. Every connection is being realigned by the universe. Someone will appear, or maybe they're already here, as a key holder to a new level of your awareness. Venus is moving through your 7th house, the house of intimate relationships, soul partners, and one-on-one connections. Meanwhile, Saturn, the planet of responsibility and soul lessons, is activating your 11th house, the realm of community, spiritual allies, and long-term visions. This alignment is not just about a new relationship. It's a clear sign. The universe is sending you someone, or a circle of people, to help you go further on your path of spiritual growth and authentic purpose. You might have already met them. Someone who makes you feel understood without explanation, or truly seen for who you are, something that rarely happens, even with those closest to you. This connection may not be romantic. Sometimes it's a soulmate friend, a mentor, a collaborator, or even a stranger whose words shift your entire direction. They may not bring answers, but they bring a new perspective, a gentle light, a soft mirror that reminds you who you were before life hardened your trust. Gemini is an air sign. You connect quickly, but often move on just as fast. But this time will be different. The people who remain in your orbit now are what we call frequency matches. Those your soul chose long before your conscious mind could name it. And alongside this, some old connections will fade. This letting go may not be loud, dramatic, or need explanation. It might just be a quiet realization. You no longer feel like yourself around them. The vibration has changed. The rhythm no longer aligns. And though it may sting, you understand now. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. But those who do are here for a reason. This is the time to ask yourself, who makes me feel safe to be my true self? Who makes me smile just by sending a message? Who allows me to be silent, yet still deeply connected? Let your heart lead the way. You don't need to hold on to those who are already letting go. If something is truly meant for you, it will either stay or find its way back. Instead, open your heart to those who are present, and present with awareness, compassion, and commitment. The kind of people around whom you don't have to act strong, prove yourself, or hide your feelings. You just get to be you. And that is enough. A relationship chosen by the universe isn't here to fill a void, but to illuminate the parts of you that are ready to be seen. It may be someone who teaches you to love again. Not someone else, but yourself. It may be someone who gently guides you out of your comfort zone, not through pressure, but through loving presence. Gemini, this August, don't overlook the people who are quietly showing up. Don't underestimate the power of a random conversation, a soft touch of trust, or a presence that brings you peace, because they might just be the key holder, unlocking a whole new chapter in your soul's journey. Leave a comment. I am ready to receive who the universe is sending. And if this message feels like it's speaking directly to you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because your journey is still unfolding, and I'll be right here, walking it with you. Now, go make yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, take a deep breath, and settle in gently, because what comes next is the moment you finally choose yourself. Part 5. The Destiny Gate opens from the 20th of August. This choice will define your life. There comes a moment in life when you no longer ask, "What if I choose wrong?" Instead, you softly whisper to yourself, "I'm willing to pay the price, as long as this time, it's real." And Gemini, if you feel like you're standing at that very threshold, It's not by chance, because after the 20th of August, the universe is opening a portal for you, not just for change, but for transformation. Mercury, your ruling planet, forms a rare trine with Jupiter and Pluto, illuminating a fated turning point on your soul's map. This is no longer a time for blurry intentions or backup plans. It's a time of divine clarity, of choosing, not out of fear, but from a place of deep truth. You may find an opportunity you once let go quietly, circling back, or perhaps an old dream, long buried, gently knocking again on your heart during a night of stillness. But this time, you won't walk as someone who's unsure. You'll walk as someone awakened, someone who knows the path may be hard, but is ready for it to be real. Destiny doesn't arrive with fireworks. It appears in that quiet pause, when everything inside you finally listens, and you hear that soft whisper, "It's time." And Gemini, you hear it now, don't you? The delays you've experienced in early August weren't a punishment. They were sacred pauses, created so you could truly see. See who's still walking with you. See who's slowly fading. See what really matters. Some dreams went unfinished because you never fully chose them, not with your whole being. But this time, if your choice is soul deep and honest, you will awaken a new path that is meant for you. This is not a month for living halfway. Not a time for saying, "We'll see what happens." Every choice you make now is carving your destiny in stone. Every small yes or no becomes a story your soul will tell again and again in lifetimes to come. So choose, not what's easy, but what's right. Not what keeps the peace, but what brings you peace. Choose what calls your name when no one's watching. Choose who you are meant to become, not just who you've been. You might have to release what once felt familiar. You might have to step out of comfort that's grown too tight for the person you're becoming. But you know this, Gemini. No great life is built inside a comfort zone. Look at who you are now. After all you've survived, you're no longer the scattered spirit you once were. You've been shaped by experience, refined by pain, strengthened by heartbreaks that almost broke you. And yet, here you are. And that's exactly why the universe is trusting you now. This gate won't open because you got lucky. It opens because you've become ready. It opens because of who you are now. Close your eyes for just a moment, Gemini. Place your hand gently on your heart and ask yourself, what do I want to carry into the rest of my life? Then choose, not with hesitation, but with presence. And once you do, really do, the path will begin to move. People will arrive. Opportunities will unfold. And the future you once longed for will feel closer than ever, as if it's been waiting for you all along. Let me end with this whisper from the universe. It's not a coincidence you're a Gemini. It's not a coincidence you're here, right now. You are the one who carries the light of the wind. And this August is when you rise into that light. If this spoke to your soul, please subscribe and comment below. I am ready to listen to my soul. Because sometimes, just listening is already half the journey. The universe never holds you back just to make you suffer. It holds you still so you can move in the right direction. And this August, Gemini, you are the living proof of that truth. If you've ever felt yourself spinning in circles between choices, torn between logic and intuition, or even lost in the noise of life, then this video is your soul's map back to clarity. You deserve to know that the silence you're walking through right now, it's not the end. It's a sacred transition into something greater. You are not being left behind. You are being held, so you can be more ready than ever. So what value can you take with you after this video? It's the ability to recognize the invisible signals from your intuition and the universe. It's the courage to revisit forgotten dreams and give them another chance. And most of all, it's a reminder that you are not here to live in a way that pleases everyone, but to become the brightest version of yourself. Not everyone will understand the path you're on, and that's okay. You don't need them to. as long as you're walking it with truth. If today's message feels like it was meant for you, leave a comment below saying, "I'm ready to step into the door of my destiny." I'll read every comment as a blessing sent to your journey, because I believe that every word you write today is also a vow, whispered to your own soul. And if this video has touched your heart, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message too, because light is not something we keep to ourselves. Light is meant to be shared. I'll see you in the next video, where every message is a key, unlocking the part of your soul you've been trying to find again. And don't forget, you are the wind, and the wind was never meant to be held back. It only needs to be guided in the right direction. I'll be here, waiting for you, Gemini.